This is how I know that racism is literally just jealousy. Because if you don't like a group of people, if you don't like someone or something, you leave it alone. You leave them alone. Because if you don't like something or someone, you avoid them. But the thing with racists, or especially anti-black racists, they do not leave us the alone. Like, how can you claim to hate black people yet be obsessed with them and be involved in everything they do? Anti-black racists literally claim to hate black people yet will literally not leave them alone.
Hey ladies, I'm here to let you know that people who come from other communities that have a strong disdain for you are actually obsessed with you. They love you, okay? They love your culture, they love your hair, they love how your skin glows in the sun, they love your features, they love how exotic you are, and they just will not admit it. So it shows up as hate. It shows up as envy and it shows up as jealousy, but what they're not saying is that they actually admire you. Coming from someone who has been in quote-unquote friendships with a lot of non-black people throughout my life, I've had friendships with every person you could think of. I've had friends who are Hispanic, mixed Hispanic. I've had maybe one or two white friends when I was really, really young. And I can tell you from experience that these people battle with self-hate, but they're so grandiose that they make it seem like they're superior and above you, even though they struggle with how they feel about themselves. And they'll befriend you and get into friendships with you to study you. They want to study your beauty tips. They want to study how you do your hair, how you style your hair. They want to study how you talk, how you walk, your attitude, your mannerisms. They want to study how men approach you and how you interact with the men that approach you. They want to see how you have the gift of gab when you're flirting. They take notes on everything, especially when you're an exotical. Like, this is what we talk about on this channel a lot, is jealousy from non-black women and from women from other communities and races. They oftentimes will get in friendships with exoticals because they admire your beauty, they admire your exoticism, but they're also threatened by it. Of course, they're not going to admit that, but they'll reveal it in their actions and in their attitude toward you. But these are some of the things that they do, ladies. They get into friendships with you, and it's almost like they're using you as a case study. They use the friendship as access into blackness. Because they admire and love blackness, they feel like they need a direct outlet to it. They need to plug into it, right? And so they may be attracted to an exotical because you maybe share a similar cultural background to them. Maybe you're an Afro-Latina and you're friends with a white Latina. They will get into friendships with you because your beauty is ambiguous. Therefore, from their very low vibrational and shallow mind, you can get into spaces that they can get into. You fit the beauty standard in their culture or in their mind or in their world, so they feel comfortable walking around with you and being friends with you. But the caveat is they actually don't like you. They don't like you. They just want to know what makes you so wonderful. They just want to know what makes you so fabulous, what makes you shine, what makes you get all the guys, what makes you get all the attention, how do you do what you do, what is the secret sauce? I have dealt with this my entire life with a lot of non-black women, white women, and Hispanic women mostly. Coming from the place I'm from, there was a lot of Hispanic women who are like more of the, fair skinned, if you know what I mean, like J-Lo and lighter. Okay. And these women used to like gravitate toward me, but it was never a genuine friendship. It was always, how can I study your blackness? How can I study your exoticism? How can I study what makes you you? And then go use that to get a man from your community. It's very strange, ladies. And it's sad because like, if you would tell a man from our community, like, this is what we deal with, like, specifically the men that notoriously date these women and make children with these women, which in my opinion they shouldn't be doing if these women are hateful toward us. If you were to tell these men what these women do in these friendships with us, they would be flabbergasted. But then again, I feel like some of them are so vile and disgusting that they don't care that these women are horrible to women who literally birth them and women who come from their communities, because they don't care. What matters to them is erasing themselves through that woman. And, you know, the two of them, they get along because they have the same agenda. You know what I mean? One wants to dibble in the blackness, one wants to dibble in the non-blackness. So it's superficial, it's fake, it's low vibrational, and that's why those relationships tend to work out. But then again, they don't. If we really look at the divorce rates of interracial dating when it comes to black men.
Women of color who are not white but who are also not black deeply envy the way that black women celebrate themselves in defiance of white supremacy. If you're an adult black woman, you've likely observed the ways in which women of color can be equally vitriolic towards you, and it can sometimes come as a shock if you haven't experienced it before, because you would think with being a black woman and then meeting with a woman of color who is ethnic and not white, our shared history of oppression would unite us, and in fact, it does not do that. And the shared history of oppression doesn't unite us, not because black women aren't looking to reach across an aisle or extend an olive branch of collaboration or cooperativeness. It has everything to do with the fact that women of color who are not black and who are also not white don't celebrate their ethnicity the way that black women do. They celebrate how close they are to whiteness. They celebrate their proximity to whiteness. So that proximity to whiteness, or the lack thereof, is what determines their outlook. That's what determines their self-esteem, their confidence. Yes, they may be a person of color, but they're likely from a country where skin bleaching is the norm. They're likely from a culture or society where wearing colored contact lenses to lighten their eyes is the norm, is the standard, is the expectation.
But I digress, ladies. I have a serious issue with non-black women who utilize friendships with black women and with exoticals to get intel on our community. They feel like because they can become friends with us, that means that they have the right of way to say racial slurs. Like, I've experienced this. Like, because I was friends with someone, they felt comfortable to use that word. And I had to quickly check her and say, girl, that's not your place. This girl was Chinese and Puerto Rican, and she was very entitled to feeling like she could say whatever because she was raised around black folks and she has black friends, and oh, what's the big deal? We're from a city where that's just thrown around all the time. And, you know, it's disgusting. They get into these friendships with us because they want to learn about our femininity. Specifically with exoticals, I know I can say for myself, we tend to attract all different types of men. And that can create a lot of envy and a lot of anger in non-black women because they feel like you should not have the pick of the litter. And this is why they tend to target exoticals, because you don't fit the stereotype of what society tells them black women look like and behave like. You don't look like the average black woman. You look ambiguous, you have a looser hair texture, your skin tone is different, or whatever the case may be. Maybe you benefit from one of the isms, and they cannot stomach that. They cannot stomach the fact that all different types of men, I'm talking about Indian, Chinese, Caribbean, white, Hispanic, and it doesn't matter. They're all attracted to you because you have a universal beauty, and that's something that they can't stomach because they were told that they're the standard. They were told that they're the universal beauty. So here you come, someone who looks like, I don't know, Jessica White or Ryan Destiny or Tessa Thompson. You maybe look like the young Beyonce. Maybe you look like Rihanna or Tyla. Maybe you look like Justine Skye or Tatiana Ali, Bernice Burgos. Whatever your phenotype is, here you come dismantling the stereotypes that they have for so long pedestalized themselves on and made themselves believe that they're better than you and greater than you, and they have the pick of the litter when it comes to men. And then when you're out and about with your friend, who you think is your friend, she's looking at you crazy and side-eyeing you and throwing you evil eye and being angry with you because you are pulling the attention of men that she was told she has access to only, and that she was told you should not have access to simply because your skin is brown. Simply because you are melanated, you don't deserve to have access to those same men. You see, a lot of these women are very male-centered. That's something I noticed about non-black women who tend to want connection and community with Exoticals is that they are extremely male-centered. They are always measuring their desirability with their female friends who are black women or exoticals. They're always going out with the intention to see how many times is he going to approach me as opposed to her? How many times is she going to get offered a free drink as opposed to me? How many times is this guy going to look at her or ask for her number over me? It's always a system of checking to see who's better. And that's why the friendships don't last long, because eventually, as exoticals, as beautiful women, we wake up and we say, oh my gosh, every time I go out with you, you get irritated when a guy is talking to me. Every time I go out with you, it seems like you stop being my friend when the men come around. Every time I go out with you or I'm hanging out with you, you're trying to make digs or taking low blows at my appearance or my aesthetic or my beauty to make yourself feel better and to uplift yourself in the presence of the opposite sex. A lot of these women are just simply male-centered, and that's a sad reality because, my goodness, not everything is about men. Not everything is about these men. Ladies, your friendships are your own. You should not be using your friendships to get access to the men in your friends' community. You should not be using your friendships to measure your beauty and your desirability to your friend. That is sick. That is weird. I don't know, ladies. You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic, and just if you've ever experienced a covert racist friend or a covert racist acquaintance who has, made you her project and made you a case study. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share your stories there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.